bip. Chicka bip. Chip, 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 chip. Good. Sex in those ass. Yeah, boy. I'm kidding. Burn, baby, burn. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, sometimes in this world that we live in, sometimes good things have got to come to an end. Sometimes the grass is greener on the other side. Sometimes when you get up in the world, you have to make a move that the world does not agree with. And guys, Mike Tomlin has been a great NFL head coach. Mike Tomlin has 183 wins in the regular season. He does have 8 playoff wins as well. He does have a division championship as soon as 2020. So just 4 years ago, he has won a division championship. Matter of fact, through 2014 through 2017, he won 3 of 4 divisional championships of the AFC North. However, Mike Tomlin has not won a playoff game in 10 years. In 10 years, Mike Tomlin has been one and done, including 6 straight one and dones. 6 straight playoff losses. So I understand that Mike Tomlin has never had a losing season in the NFL. I understand that Mike Tomlin has almost a 700 winning percentage as the NFL head coach. And I understand that he wins division titles and 9 wins and 8 wins, etc. But he is not winning playoff games. It is time for the Pittsburgh Steelers and the Rooneys and the city of Pittsburgh to move on from Mike Tomlin. It is time for Mike Tomlin to go off to greener pastures. And sometimes you have to take steps back in the world to take steps forward. I.e. Philadelphia Eagles when they fired Andy Reid, and not even an hour later he was signed with the Kansas City Chiefs. Mike Tomlin needs to be out of Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh Steelers need to fire Mike Tomlin, trade Mike Tomlin, whatever it takes, get him out of town. It's simple as that. Get him out of town. Cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation! Rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw. Steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off. Get it hype, this man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman. Everybody bringing heat. You don't really want to try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour.
What?
Sport talk. Man Hour. Sport talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport talk. Man Hour. Sport talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? What is up, Pigskin Pundits? Michael Buckheiser here with the Man Hour. Sure, to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page. But most importantly, guys, become a Pigskin Pundit. New Pigskin merch is out there today. If you are a Pigskin Pundit, Q1 merch is out there. This is a little sample, but I think this is the sample that we're going to go with. I think this is the new t-shirt that we're going to give out to all the Pigskin Pundits for Q1 of the 2025 NFL season. Super Wildcard Weekend, guys, is almost over. It is almost over. It's almost. We got the Rams and Vikings right now. I see you guys talking about the game in the chat. Stop it. I got the game on pause. Stop it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. Laura, if you talk about it. John, if you kick about it. Jimmy, kick about it. I want to kick you guys in the teeth. I hope you kick the sofa. But guys, we do got a great story for you on today. It is Monday edition. And of course, that means we got a little buy and a little bit of sell Monday edition. Are we buying Justin Herbert? Are we buying the Denver Broncos? Are we buying the Buffalo Bills defense all the way to the Super Bowl? What? Let's go. Let's talk about it. But most importantly, guys, we got to talk about the Washington Commanders and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Have we been overlooking the Washington Commanders all season long? Have we finally sold ourselves on the Washington Commanders? Have we sold on them? And then we got to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles taking on the Green Bay Packers. Are the Eagles still my Super Bowl favorites? Is Jordan Love overhyped and overpaid? We'll talk about that. And of course, in buy or sell, we got that. And then we got a little bit of fact and a little bit of crap. Are we going to have a co-MVP? Are we going to have a co-MVP in 2025? It's happened twice in the NFL career or the NFL lifetime. It's happened twice. Is it going to happen again? Let's just say it better not. It better not, because, guys, we are going to freaking riot if that happens. But before we get too carried away, we got to welcome the people in the chat. We got the chat blowing up. We got the people in there. We got Laura Johnson-Hedrick in the chat. She is mad today. She is mad because Sam Braun just took a major sack. Laura, it is what it is, girl. It's okay. And John says, do you smell that brain fart coming? The brain fart's already out there, John. Brain fart's already out there. What's up, John? Hope you're having a grand old day. John and Laura are both the Pigskin Punters, guys. Thank you for all your support. Your guys' merch will be shipped out in a couple days if we approve it. If the Pigskin Punters approve it, it is out. We got Dawson in the chat today. He says, hi. What's up, Dawson? Hope you're having a great old man. Hope you're having a happy Monday and have a great week. Edward Butler's in the chat today as well. He says, go Bills Mafia. Edwin, stay around, my man. Stay around, E, because we are going to be talking about your Buffalo Bills. We're going to talk about, most importantly, Buffalo Bills defense. That's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills defense moving forward. So what's up, Ed? Have a grand old day. And Laura says, that's a personal foul, roughing the kicker. Let's go, baby. Laura, I told you I'd be talking about the football game right now. I got the shit on pause. After the show, I got to play catch up and still be in bed by midnight. We'll see what happens. Christopher Hayward or Harwood's in the chat says, how about those Packers? Chris, my man, I'm looking at that cheesehead. And in buy and sell, we got Jordan Love. That cheesehead right there might be coming off the wall. That cheesehead might become grated cheese, or it might be Philadelphia cream cheese. I don't know what it is, but come on, man. How about those Packers, huh? James Frank's in the chat today as well. Top fan, James Frank, I might add. He says, just wanted to say my hate on the Pittsburgh Steelers made me right. James says, F those Pittsburgh Steelers. Ravens going to flock all day long and whoop that ass. And James, you're right. You were spot on. And Chris says, hey, I'll buy that cheesehead. I'm kidding. But thank you, Chris, for being here today. Hope you're having a good day, man. John says those are Dak type of numbers, one and dones in the NFL. It's pretty bad. Mike Tomlin is not a very good playoff coach. Let's just be honest. And James says, I'll take Dak Prescott over Deshaun Watson all day, every day. Just saying, because I said Dak Prescott's a top 5 quarterback. Stop it. Guys, Dak Prescott is a top 5 quarterback. Stop hating on greatness. I guarantee you Dak Prescott puts up the numbers that he puts up right now on the Cleveland Browns, on the LA Chargers, on the Houston Texans, on the Kansas City Chiefs, on the Seattle Seahawks, on the New York Giants. You're like, I love me some Dak Prescott. But the fact is he's on the Dallas Cowboys. You guys be continuing hating on the Dallas Cowboys. But you notice my Cowboys football is gone. I broke it with the Cowboys 2 months ago. I threw that ball, and then my dog ate it. So, I guess you guys didn't hate on everybody. Jim Powell, the CEO of the Pigskin Punters, says, what's up, everybody? How's everybody doing? Jim. Hope you're doing it, man. I hope you are staying better and staying warm out there, because we got another storm coming. James Frank says, that hat, though. You guys like the beanie? Should we put the beanie back in the merch store? This is the original. It says Mike and Mike Man Hour. This is the original Man Hour beanie. If you guys want to throw back some OG stuff, man, let's do it. And Laura says, I need that hat. Okay, slow it down, baby. Maybe instead of t-shirts, but we do beanies. I don't know. I'm just saying. I don't know. Jameson's in the chat today as well. He says, Sam Darnold is trash. Jameson, you stay hating, man. No matter who it is, Jameson is hating. They have one bad game, you're hating. He has one good game. Jameson just stays hating. What's up, Jameson? Hope you're doing better, man. I know you were down with the sickness there for a little bit. Hope you're doing well. John says, pigskin pundits, get you some. Yes, sir. Click on the subscribe button, guys. If you're on Facebook.com or over there on YouTube.com, click on the subscribe button. Still, it's $4.99 a month, guys. You get behind the scenes footage. You get Motivational Monday. You get some chance to win some dollar bills, y'all, on Thursday with Trivia Thursdays. Tuesday, we got the subscriber hangout. Wednesday, we got the Hump Day Blues. We're just like, what is dragging you down? Plus, you get free merch. You get shout-outs. Man, come on. Become a pigskin pundit. Be a pigskin pundit. And, of course, we got my man Alpha Rob in the chat as well. It says, what up, Buck? What us up, Alpha Rob? Alpha Rob, what's up, man? Nacho Gomez says the Rams are going to put the Minnesota Vikings out of their misery. Hate to say I told you so. Hate to say I told you so. And Jim says, slow it down, baby. The Commanders are not them. The Commanders are not them. We're going to be talking about that, Jim. Slow it down. And Alpha Rob says there's going to be only one MVP, and that is Buffalo. Not wrong. I don't know. We'll just say. John says, what's going on, Buck and the Pigskin Pundits? What's up, John? Hope what's up. And Dallas says, John says Dallas is the perfect spot for Tomlin. I don't think Mike Tomlin's going to want to go into that cancer hole. I'm just saying, I do not think Mike Tomlin wants to go to the Dallas Cowboys and deal with Jerry Jones. Let's just be honest. Because you go from a great ownership group. You can say what you want about the Pittsburgh Steelers, but they have a great ownership group, right? They hire people to do their job, and they kind of just step out of the way and let them do their thing, right? They just step out there and do their thing. I don't know. That would be tough. Josh Olson, top fan as well. He says a playoff game on Monday Night Football is a competitive disadvantage for the team that goes to play on in the divisional round. You are correct. However, they'll be playing the last game on Sunday. So it's just like a normal work week, right? Just like a normal work week. You have Monday Night Football and you got to go back to work the next Sunday. I mean, it is what it is. And Guy Matt wants to talk shit. He says, do you always stutter? Slow it down. Yes, I always stutter, you fuck. I stutter all the time. Are you new here? Get out of here with that shit. But yes, I do stutter all the time. Devin says the Raiders are going to skull drag the Buffalo Bills. Dang, Devon. Slow it down, baby. Slow it down. Sanders will most likely be coaching the Dallas Cowboys because Jerry Jones is dumb. We'll be talking about the Dallas Cowboys coming up here very, very momentarily, guys, in Factor Crap. But, guys, thank you for joining us today. Let's get into today's show, and let's talk about the Washington Commanders. Let's talk about the Washington Commanders. Guys, most of the season, I have not been on the Washington Commanders train. Let's just be flat out honest. Every time I wanted to jump on that train, they gave me a reason to jump off, right? Whether it's losing to the Baltimore Ravens, whether it's losing to the Philadelphia Eagles, whether it's not beating a lot of very good teams, right? Let's just be honest. They did not play a lot of competitive football this particular season. They were actually 1-4 versus playoff teams so far this season. Their lone win coming versus a hurtless Philadelphia Eagles team back in week 16 or 17, I believe it was. But the Washington Commanders, guys, did upset the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on a doink field goal to end the game 23-20. The Bucs had some big mistakes, and they could not capitalize on the Washington Commanders' mistakes. But rookie quarterback Jaden Daniels balled out. They actually balled out all season long. I want to put my revote in for the Rookie of the Year and take it back from Brock Bowers and give it to Jaden Daniels, but playoff games don't matter. Jaden Daniels, guys, last night went 24 for 35 for 268 yards and 2 touchdowns. He actually accounted for over 85% of the Washington Commanders' total offense last night. He has been putting up better QBR numbers than anyone in nut crunch time all season long. What is nut crunch time? 4th down, 3rd downs versus the blitz, when trailing. Guys, the Commanders finished the regular season with 12 wins for the first time since 1991. You Washington Commanders fans, what happened in 1991? Y'all won the Super Bowl. So is 2024 NFL season a repeat of 1991, guys? Have we been overlooking the Washington Commanders all season long? That is the question. And the biggest drawback, like I said, for the Washington Commanders guys all season long is, yeah, they're winning, but who have they played? Yeah, they won, but who have they played? Yeah, they won 9 games, but who have they played? Yeah, they won 10 games, but who have they played? Yeah, they won 12 games. They're 1-4 versus playoff teams, right? That has been my drawback for the Washington Commanders all season long. But then they go back and they go into Tampa and revenge their opening week 1 loss with the playoff win, knocking Baker Mayfield and the boys out. Guys, the Washington Commanders all season long has been a really, really good team. I have been overlooking them all season long. They have a 7th ranked overall offense. They have the 3rd ranked rushing attack. They have the 13th overall defense and the 3rd ranked passing defense. Guys, I understand that the Detroit Lions, they feel this is their best draw, right? They didn't want to play the Rams. They didn't want to play the Vikings. They didn't want to play the Packers in their first game. Let's just be totally honest. They wanted to play the Washington Commanders. But we have been overlooking the Washington Commanders all season long. I don't know how much more cut blank I can say it. Guys, the Washington Commanders are a good team. Are they a great team? Slow it down. Are they a Super Bowl team? Slow it down. Offensive line is still suspect. Defense is pretty good. Wide receiving core is getting better. That guy that balled out last night was at number 5. Good Lord, right? Good Lord. But guys, the Washington Commanders are a team that I would love to jump on the bandwagon right now. The Washington Commanders are a team that I would love to jump on the bandwagon right now. But I can't. I can't. And I don't know why. I don't know why. Is it because of Dan Quinn's inability to win a championship game, winning 28-3? Is it the fact that they have a rookie quarterback? Is it the fact that I'm a passive Dallas Cowboys fan and I'm growing up to hate the Washington Commanders? I don't know. But for some reason, I am not sold on the Washington Commanders 100%. Have I overlooked them? 100%. Have I doubted them all season long? 100%. Did I expect them to win a playoff game? No. Was I shocked that they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? 100%. So guys, let me ask you this question. Have we been overlooking the Washington Commanders as a general man-hour nation? If you're watching this show right now, you are part of the man-hour nation. Whether you're a pigskin pundit or not, you are part of the man-hour nation. Have we been overlooking the Washington Commanders? And I say yes, we have. Yes, we have. I know why. They're 1-4 versus playoff teams. Their lone win came to the Philadelphia Eagles week 16 when Jalen Hurts wasn't in there. They got beat by the Dallas Cowboys. It is stuff. But am I a believer, says Bowdy Banks? I am not a believer in them. I do not think that they will beat the Detroit Lions. I think they might give the Detroit Lions a little bit of run for their money in the first quarter. But playing the way they played last night, being one-dimensional, sole offense going through Jaden Daniels is not a recipe to beat the Detroit Lions. You need to be able to run the ball, which they didn't last night. Although they are 3rd in the NFL in rushing most of the season. Last night, I don't know if they just forgot or the Green Bay Packers defense is just that good. Or not the Green Bay Packers. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But I'm not a believer in them. I overlooked them, but I'm not a believer of them. Gary Nelson's in the chat. What's up, Gary? Gary is a LA Chargers fan, so definitely feel for you, Gary. But he says, I think the media is trying super hard to give Herbert a chip on the shoulder for next season. He's not the elite quarterback, but I tell you, next year he better have the season of his life. We'll be talking about Justin Herbert coming up very, very shortly there. Gary, I don't know if it's not in this rundown, so it is in hour number 2. So about 30 minutes, we'll be talking about Justin Herbert. So stay tuned for that. Casey Morgan says, was only good game until tonight's game, but I don't think the Commanders will make it past the next round. And Casey, last night was a very exciting game. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers missed on some big opportunities, fumbling the ball, snapping the ball when nobody moved, that kind of thing, a couple drop passes. It was a very, very good game. But I guess the question that we need to ask ourselves, Were the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just tired? Were they just like, man, we battled all season long to get here. This should be an easy win. Now we have to battle. Screw it, right? Or are the Washington Commanders really that good? Young and hungry and all this other stuff? I don't know. I'm not buying the Commanders. I have overlooked them, though. John says Bo Nix is Rookie of the Year. No, he's not. No, he's not. Casey says it's a Chargers thing. They always put on the podium in on the offseason and predicted to make the Super Bowl favorite. They're like season never come out year. We'll be talking about the Chargers. Alpha Rob says, what is a commander anyways? The leader of the pack. He's a commander. He is leading you to the promised land. He is leader of men or leader of people. Leader of them, they. Jameson says Washington will lose to Detroit. And Jameson, I think you're correct. I think you are correct. They might pull at Denver Broncos versus the Detroit Lions, right? Score on the first drive, and like, oh, crap, and then get their asses whooped. But that is not to say that we have not overlooked them, right? Hell, I want to say, was it week 15, week 14? Early December, I'm going to say it would not shock me if this team would miss the playoffs, right? I mean, I was kind of on that bandwagon. I'm like, I'm not sold on this team. They may not even make the playoffs. And here I am eating crow. Not only did they make the playoffs, they beat my Super Bowl favorite, honestly, or the team that I thought was going to do the most upsetting work in the playoffs, aka beating the Detroit Lions or the Philadelphia Eagles, and beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So as I do agree with you, Jameson, that they will lose to Detroit, and the Detroit Lions will probably beat them pretty handily, still doesn't beg the difference that we have overlooked them. I'm just saying, I feel like I've overlooked them. And Jim says, no, we have not overlooked them. They beat Tampa. Tampa Bay was a good team, though, Jim. Tampa Bay was a playoff team that the Philadelphia Eagles did not want to see. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers were a playoff team that the Detroit Lions did not want to see. Now that the Washington Commanders beat them, does that mean the Washington Commanders are a team that you don't want to see? Answer to that question is no, but I could see people try to start pulling that narrative, right? So, Jameson says Philadelphia will beat the Minnesota Vikings or the Rams. So that means that we have a Detroit Eagles NFC Championship game, more than likely. But yeah. John says Detroit is going to dog walk the Commanders. I agree. Alpha Rob says I am not a believer in the Commanders. So let me ask you this, Alpha Rob, because you seem to me the most level-headed NFL fan out there, right? Like you hate everybody equally, and you like everybody equally. Just like I feel like there's no. I mean, obviously, like you have a little bit bias toward the Buffalo Bills, but you seem to be the most level-headed person out there, right? Are you not a believer in the Washington Commanders as a whole? Or are you not a believer in Jaden Daniels? Or not a believer in Dan Quinn? Because when I say not a believer, I believe in Jaden Daniels. I think Jaden Daniels is the reason why the Washington Commanders are where they're at. When you are 85% of your team's offense, you beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I'm a believer in you. But I am with you on not a believer in Dan Quinn. I am not a believer in Dan Quinn. I believe that Dan Quinn is having the coaching year or Cliff Kingsbury's coaching out of his mind because of Jaden Daniels making up for their short fallings. I think if you had any other quarterback besides Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, Caleb Williams, Michael Penix Jr., Drake May, who else is out there? JJ McCarthy. Any one of those quarterbacks in Washington, they are not in the playoffs. They are not a 12-win team. They do not beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I'm a believer in Jaden Daniels, not a believer in Dan Quinn, not a believer in the rest of the Washington Commanders team as a whole. Jaden Daniels elevates everybody. He is going to be a great quarterback for many, many years to come. John says Philly's going to have a hard time with LA. I agree. Rams are on. We actually spoke about this. Was it Friday? I said that the Rams have a better story than the Detroit Lions right now, and the Rams are going to make a nice little playoff run. And John says, slow it down. You have old man River try to tell you. He said, Commanders are the deal. John says, stop sleeping on what I say. Okay, Johnny boy, slow it down, old man River. Bowdy Banks says the Commanders are playing with house money. The Lions better be careful. And Bowie, you are not wrong. You are not wrong at all. Everybody expects the Detroit Lions to dog walk the Washington Commanders. Everybody expects the Washington Commanders to fold like a $2 French whore. Everybody expected the Washington Commanders not even to be in the playoffs, let alone beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. B squared, you are 100% wrecked. When you're playing with house money, you might see some of those trick plays. You might see them go for a fake punt. A little bit of fleek flicker, hook and ladder, go on 3, 7, and 8. Hard counts all over the place. Even on the road. Bowie, you are correct, man. You are correct. Nacho says the Rams are dominating the Vikings. I try to tell you, y'all. Try to tell you the Vikings are Fugazi. Laura, it is okay. Jameson says Philly's going to dog walk the Rams. We'll see. We'll see. We'll talk about that this week. We got a lot of NFL talk to talk this week. We got a long week ahead of us. John says, I don't think the Rams going to come out hard in Philly. We'll see. We'll talk about that. The Commanders. Ha, ha, ha. Let's see what's going on here. Josh says, I had them number 1 during weeks 5 and week 6 earlier in the season. And Josh, you were definitely just buying into the hype. They were beating bad teams. Let's just be honest. Casey says the game will most likely go 2 ways, one-sided or really, really good. But the Bills defense isn't geared to stop Henry. Oh, we're talking about the Rams Bills. John says Dan Quinn is not very good coach. You are correct. Okay. We cannot say this, right? Like, I kind of feel like in Washington, John, right now we have Jaden Daniels and Dan Quinn. Maybe they're the perfect marriage. Maybe it's a Tom Brady, Bill Belichick type of marriage, right? Maybe it's one can't survive without the other. Maybe Dan Quinn is making Jaden Daniels and Jaden Daniels is making Dan Quinn. Maybe they're both helping each other up the mountain, right? Maybe that's what it is. In years past, I did not have any faith in Dan Quinn. Even as a defensive coordinator for the Dallas Cowboys, I did not like Dan Quinn. He coached really good versus terrible teams and mediocre teams, but once it was nut crunch time, big games, beat the Eagles to win the division or this and this and this, he's like, whatever, right? Whatever. Alpha Rob says, Jaden Daniels is fine. It's the coach I do not trust, and I think everybody is correct on this. I mean, Dan Quinn has not given us a reason to trust him yet, right? Now, granted, the Washington Commanders guys are 6-0, 6 of their wins come with 10 seconds or less in the game, right? 6 of their wins come with 10 seconds left or less in the game so far this season. Is that coaching? Is that Jaden Daniels? I don't know. But I trust Jaden Daniels. Don't trust Dan Quinn. Alpha Rob says, and I don't think the roster is that good. You know, Alpha Rob, I've been kind of saying that too. I don't trust the roster, right? I don't trust the roster. I don't trust the roster. But Bobby Wagner, one of those long-toothed old heads on the defensive side of the ball, he's a second-ranked linebacker in the NFL this season. Their cornerbacks both are top 10 ranked in the NFL this season. Scary Terry, top 10 receiver. I cannot think of the guy's name right now. Number 5, the receiver that balled out all night last night. What is his name? I have it written down. De'Ami Brown. He balled out, definitely stepped up last night. And Alpha Rob, I think you're correct. The roster is not very good. But Jaden Daniels makes that roster good. Jaden Daniels reminds me of Tom Brady. I'm not saying he's going to win 7 Super Bowls. I'm not saying he's going to be the greatest of like all time. Do not get those words twisted. But I'm saying Jaden Daniels elevates the players elevates the play of the players around him. He doesn't he may not be demanding greatness, but the way he plays, the way he carries himself, the way he just has that stone cold face, like I am great, and either you're going to come with me or we're going to leave you behind. That is elevating the rest of the play. That's elevating the coaching. That's elevating everything, right? John says Jaden Daniels will play 1 good quarter and then the starters then starts getting beat versus the Lions. Probably right. Alpha Rob says, do you think Dan Quinn is going to try to play Campbell's game and going for it on 4th downs? So I think we're going to see we are going to see what we saw last week for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Alpha Rob. He was 0 for 2 on 4th downs. Pretty big force down on Sunday night. And then they went for it again on 4th down, and they got a touchdown, which pretty much catapulted them into that win. And not win them the game, obviously the field goal did, and then the 3rd down scramble. But that 4th down play where they got the touchdown, I think we're going to be seeing a no risk it, no biscuit type of game. They did not punt it one time versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Not one time did they punt the ball. They did have 4 fourth downs. I think we're going to see it. I think we're going to see the bigger back and forth chess match, 4th downs, who can win it all type of thing. Who has the bigger nuts, right? I think that's what it comes down to. Casey Morgan's also a Pigskin Bunny, guys. Be like Casey. Click on the subscribe button down below. Become a Pigskin Punnet. Get yourself some Pigskin Punnet merch for free. And we're doing beanies too. He says Jaden Daniels and Bo Nix are the only standouts from that rookie quarterback class. Williams got what he deserved with running his mouth before the NFL starts. We'll talk about that this offseason. We got a lot to talk about. Michael Burlew, he's a Commanders fan. He said, all the Commanders hate. 6-game winning streak. They got holes, but they're making do with what they have. Keep sleeping on them. And Michael, I just said it earlier. I was overlooking them, man. I'm saying I was overlooking your team. I'm still not sold on them, but I can tell you that I'm overlooking on them, and now I got a little eye on them, right? It's kind of like I'm married to this person, or I'm dating this person, but the newer, cuter girl's walking over there. I'm like, oh, it is kind of like that meme, right? You're walking with the girl, like, ooh, right? Ooh, I see you, Jaden Daniels, with that fine ass over there. We see that, right? Josh said, I said it on here weeks ago. Jaden Daniels is Rookie of the Year. Josh, you are correct. However, all these season end rewards are regular season, not postseason. Let's just keep that in mind. Once the playoffs start, voting is over. So Jaden Daniels' game last night doesn't count. Lamar Jackson's game last night does not count to the MVP. Josh Allen's game last night does not count to the MVP. This is all regular season award. I still think Jaden Daniels is going to win it. That's what I said. But I think Brock Bowers is definitely more deserving. Casey says Dan Campbell is most likely going to the cost of the Lions a playoff game with the 4th down gambles. And you are 100% correct. We'll be talking a lot about the Detroit Lions about Wednesday on. We got a lot to talk about, right? A lot to talk about. Jameson says Sam has been sacked 6 times. I'm not talking about the game. I got it on pause. Stop giving me the scores. Negative, Ghost Rider. Jameson says it's the coaching. Doesn't trust the coaching. I agree. But when you look at the Washington Commanders, guys, I heard one announcer, one segment say that the Washington Commanders are built to win for years to come. They are built to win for the next 10 years. They are better. Mark them down in the playoffs for the next 10 years. I believe that was Rex Ryan. So, guys, let me ask you this question. Are the Washington Commanders built to win for years to come? Are they built for long-term success? Can you start putting them in the playoffs for the next 10, 12, 15 years over and over and over again? What you guys realize is that the Washington Commanders have a lot of free agents coming up this season. Matter of fact, they have 28 free agents in 2025. From Zach Ertz to Jeremy Chin to Bobby Wagner, which is the second-ranked linebacker in the NFL, Devontae Flower Jr., 2 cornerbacks, De'Ami Brown, just to name a few. A lot of them are on that defensive side of the ball. The defense that has been the 13th ranked overall defense, or the 3rd ranked passing defense so far this season. Definitely the heart and soul of this team. Jaden Daniels, however, guys, is the reason why they're winning. He brings the team up, like I just said. Jaden Daniels elevates the players around him. He makes coaching better. He makes the defense better. He makes the wide receivers better. He makes the receivers better. Hell, he makes the subpar offensive line not so bad. And on top of that, they do have $81.75 in cap space in 2025 NFL season as of today. That may change, but we'll see. But guys, are the Commanders built right now for years to come? With the $81 million in cap space, with the success of so far this season, and the 28 free agents that they have, this team is going to be vastly different next season. This team is going to be vastly different the next 2 seasons. Hell, for the next 3 seasons, we could see a complete turnover in the Washington Commanders, from retirements to free agents to players want some dollar bill. Hell, the only consistent that we might see is Jaden Daniels and Dan Quinn. Hell, their offensive coordinator, Cliff Kingsbury, is already getting head coaching opportunities, i.e. the Chicago Bears. So yes, the Washington Commanders guys do have the ability to be good for years to come. Yes, the Washington Commanders do have the ability to buy a team. Yes, the Washington Commanders do have one of the greatest young quarterbacks in the NFL for years to come. But are they built right now to win for years to come? No. They're not built right now for years to come. They have room to grow. They have room to add players. They have room to improve that subpar offensive line and get a younger defense. They have room to build. They have room to be great. But we've seen this before. i.e. Brian Daboll and the New York Football Giants. I've said it once. I'll say it again. During a, quote, rebuild, and when you're ahead of schedule, that makes you start to think that you're better than you actually are. Denver Broncos, we'll be talking about you guys in a second. You guys think you're better than you actually are. New York Giants, back in 2020, they thought they were better than they actually are. Washington Commanders, you guys are better. You guys think you're better than you actually are. I'm not trying to discredit Jaden Daniels. I love Jaden Daniels. I don't like your coach. I don't like your aging defense. I don't like having 28 free agents going into 2025. That's half of your team is a free agent next season. $81 million in cap hit, and you have like 100 and some odd million dollars to like play with, right? It is what it is. They are built to win by free agency, by cap space, and with Jaden Daniels. But I want everybody to slow it down. If you are a Washington Commanders fan, enjoy the hype. Enjoy the train, right? Do not be like the Las Vegas Raiders last season and get all this hype in the offseason and you guys shit the bed. So slow it down. Let's have a nice, quiet offseason. When I say quiet, I mean fans, shut your mouth and just trust the process. Have a good offseason. Have a great draft. Pick up a couple big free agents, whether it's Tyreek Hill, whether it's another big name receiver. You know, there will be some free agent receivers out there. Amari Cooper, DeAndre Hopkins, just to name a few. Get a nice little vet receiver in there. But I mean, you guys could be back there. But are they built to win for years to come? They have the ability to be built to win for years to come. Yes. What do you guys think? Are they built to win for years to come? Alpha Rob says, as Buck says, slow it down, baby. The Commanders, slow it down. And John says, providing no injuries, maybe. John, it's always the next man up. You have to build depth on your team if you want to be successful. As much as we like Jaden Daniels, I think here on kind of the Man Our Nation, we are all kind of in consensus that we like Jaden Daniels. We think Jaden Daniels will have a bright future. I think Jaden Daniels might be a top 10 quarterback next season. But if you don't build around him and build depth around him, get out of here. You aren't supposed to win then, right? Look at the Detroit Lions. They have depth all the way around. Next man up all season long. San Francisco 49ers, their starters were pretty good. But once their starters go down, who do they got? Oh, we have all these injuries. We suck. Don't be like the 49ers. Don't be like the 49ers. Michael says, all depends on the free agency / draft next season. Tons of cap space and free agents want to come. Built the line with Jaden Daniels 5 and they're off. The offensive line is terrible, Michael. The offensive line right now is subpar. The only reason why I think they're ranked 20th in PFF right now, the only reason why they're that high is because Jaden Daniels has scrambling ability. The offensive line sucks. You need to get some offensive line in there, young offensive linemen, so you can have a nice dominating offensive line for many years to come with Jaden Daniels. They can build that nice little chemistry and to the moon, baby, right? Casey says, I give the Commanders at least 2 more seasons and they're most likely in the NFC Championship game. Casey, they're in the NFC Championship game this season. They won their NFC Championship game last night. Let's just be honest. That was their NFC Championship game last night, Casey. I'm kidding. But I will concur with that, Casey. I will concur with that if, let me put a stipulation on that. Let me waffle around the answer. Let me put a little asterisk there. If they do what Michael Burlew just said, draft well and pick up a couple free agents, bada bing, bada boom, they are there. And the Jags thought the same thing. Yes, exactly. Jaguars, Giants. You can put the Arizona Cardinals in there too, right? Yeah. Laura says Vikings stink. That's all I'm going to say. Man, I should let me flip over the game real quick. Let me pull it up because 24-3. What happened, Vikings fans? Man, I'm gonna have so much fun trolling the Vikings fans on like Wednesday. And Laura says, I like the Commanders, but I think it's too soon to jump all in. Laura, the Commanders fans are going to be like your Minnesota Vikings fans this season. I had faith in my team the whole time. You better join us now. You don't want to be joining with us at all. I'm kidding. Josh says, I think they should sign Odell Beckham Jr. Josh, I think you're high as a kite, man. I think you are high as a kite. Odell Beckham Jr. career is done in the NFL. He got cut by the Miami Dolphins. Odell Beckham Jr. is done. And let's just be honest. Besides the catch and his nice 4 or 5 seasons in New York with those 1,000 yards. Once he's left New York, what has he done? I'm just saying. What has he done? On the flip side of this game, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have kind of, I kind of feel like right now they're in a rebuild mode, right? Right now, I feel like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are kind of like, yeah, we got there, but we didn't really deserve to be there. But we were really good, but we're not really good. Like the Commanders are kind of in this limbo type of state. When you think of this limbo state, you're like, we're older, we're getting older. We don't have really much young guys, but we're not great. They're kind of just in this Pittsburgh Steelers limbo type of state. Like, what do we do? Do we take a step back to get worse, to get better? Do we continue to try to build on this old roster, like all in right now? So, guys, I got to ask the question, how can the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get back to the postseason next year? Guys, the Buccaneers have some questions that need to be answered this offseason. They have some questions about what they're going to do this offseason. Do they re-sign Chris Godwin to a long-term deal? I personally think Chris Godwin is gone. with Jalen McLeman coming in late, coming on hot this season, and Chris Godwin with that ankle injury, I think Chris Godwin is out, right? I think he's done. I think this next season, the 2025 NFL season, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are going to have to take steps back to get better. Their offensive line, they're not terrible, but they got some contracts coming up. Can they keep that old line together and add some depth? That's the question. That's the most important question, but the most important question on top of that is their old offensive line. Sorry, their offensive coordinator, Liam Cohn. He's gathering a lot of head coaching buzz. Guys, the Buccaneers averaged 28.6 points a game this season, which is second most in franchise history since behind the 2020 Buccaneers, which they won the Super Bowl. And then they got inconsistent linebacker play. Their linebacking core is young, very, very talented, but very, very inconsistent. So, guys, I got to ask the question, how can the Tampa Bay Buccaneers make it back to the postseason next year? How can they win the division or win the wild card next season and get there? I think the biggest thing that they have to do is address the offensive line. You have to sign your offensive lineman. You have to keep that offensive line intact because Baker Mayfield is the man. Simple as that. Simple as that. Laura says, getting ready to ride the roller coaster, Commanders fans. It is fun. Laura says, pundit chant doing an SOS on me. Y'all crazy. And John says, trade Baker Mayfield to Vegas for Aiden O'Connell. Get out of here with that. Another game that happened over the weekend, the Green Bay Packers. That's right. My Super Bowl pick of the Green Bay Packers taking on the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles, guys, outlasted the Green Bay Packers in a defensive slugfest. The offense of the Eagles seemed to struggle most of the night. Let's just be honest. The offense was not very, very good. Jalen Hurts was 13 for 21 for 131 yards. He did have 2 passing touchdowns, but beyond that, yeah. Guys, when you look at the NFC right now, Eagles will be playing the winner of the Vikings versus Rams, which right now is looking like the LA Rams. The Detroit Lions are playing the Washington Commanders. So by default, the Eagles will be playing will more than likely have to play the Detroit Lions in the NFC Championship game. Are the Philadelphia Eagles, guys, still a Super Bowl favorite despite the dismal offensive output they had versus Green Bay Packers on Sunday? The Eagles have had subpar offensive play most of the year. Let's just be honest. They are ranked second in the NFL in rushing each game with 180 yards per game. They're ranked 30th in passing yards per game with 157 or whatever it was. And Jalen Hurts did have another bad game with 131 yards passing. Let's just be honest. And as a team, total last night versus the Green Bay Packers, they only rushed for 169 yards. Yes, I understand that could have been 200 if Saquon Barkley would have broke it like he should have, but whatever. It is what it is. But on the flip side of the coin, the defense has been the saving grace for all season long. This defense has been great. The defense is ranked number 1 overall in the NFL. They kept Jordan Love to just 212 yards passing last night, and they kept the Green Bay Packers under 110 yards. You take away that 31 beast run by Josh Jacobs, they're keeping the Green Bay Packers under 70 yards rushing. The defense balled out. Let's just be flat out honest. Now, for the Philadelphia Eagles to make a Super Bowl run, they will have to play better on offense. If they want to beat the Rams or Vikings, like I said, it's looking like they're going to be playing the Rams as of right now. Both of those offenses will be putting up some numbers. I'm not saying those offenses are going to be putting up 20, 30, 40 points. I'm not saying the Philadelphia Eagles are going to have to score 20, 30 points to win this game. But are they the Super Bowl favorite still coming out of the NFC? And I have to say yes. I have to say yes because despite Jalen Hurts only throwing for 131 yards, despite the team only rushing 169 yards total between all 4 of them, Kenneth Gainwell, Saquon Barkley, Hurts, and I think A.J. Brown had a carry, right? Only 169. They had what, 300 total yards offense. That's not ungodly numbers by any stretch of the imagination, but their defense is just as good. Their defense only gave up 300 yards in the game. Yes, Jordan Love had 212 yards passing because they got pass happy toward the end of the game. They only had 107 yards rushing. You take away that 31 beast yard run by Josh Jacobs. My God, that run was a crazy. Under 70 yards. Guys, how are the Philadelphia Eagles not Super Bowl favorites? They're healthy. They know how to win. They've been there. They've done that. And they got a defense that can play with anybody, can shut anybody down. Guys, the Philadelphia Eagles are hands down Super Bowl favorites. The Philadelphia Eagles are hands down going to probably win the NFC. Like, who is going to stop them? The Rams? No. The Vikings? They can't even get past the Rams. The Commanders? They already beat the Commanders once this season. Should have beat them twice if Jalen Hurts didn't get hurt. Head-hunting mofos. Are they going to beat the Detroit Lions? No, because Dan Campbell was going to cost in the game. Guys, the Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl favorites. Simple as that. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think that the Philadelphia Eagles are still Super Bowl favorites despite the dismal offensive output they had on Sunday versus the Green Bay Packers? Casey says the line and need more weapons on defense. I think we're talking about the Commanders there. Casey says Philly wasn't that good last night, especially going against a Green Bay Packers team that was made out of glass. And I think this is what most people are failing to see. When you watch that game, the Philadelphia Eagles came out there to headhunt. The Philadelphia Eagles came out there to prove something. The Philadelphia Eagles said you were not walking off of this field. Their defense was hungry and pissed off. Now, I'm talking down to their offense about only 131 yards passing. Still got 2 touchdowns, though. Only 169 yards rushing. Well, it could have been hell of a lot more if Saquon was just a little bit more selfish, right? You guys are forgetting that the Green Bay Packers have one of the best pass defenses in the NFL. They have the 11th ranked rush defense in the NFL. They were a top 10 defense most of the season. And oh, by the way, they were missing 3 or 4 of their top defenders on defense. They lost them out in that particular game. Green Bay Packers were no easy out. Philadelphia Eagles guys are the real deal. Alpha Rob says no. Jalen Hurts is going to be their downfall. And Alpha Rob, if you would have told me this the first 3-4 weeks of the season, I would agree with you on that. Jalen Hurts, the first 4 weeks of the season, 3 touchdowns to 4 interceptions, was not playing his best ball. They were also throwing the ball 30, 40 times in those games. Since the bye week, they said, Saquon, Kenneth Gainwell, you guys are going to be carrying the ball 70% of the time. Kellen Moore has legitimately taken the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands and given it to Saquon. Jalen Hurts is there just to be a distributor. He's just a point guard, just like at this point. Yeah, he might run a couple RPOs and do a little some quick slants or whatnot. A.J. Brown had 1 catch. Well, he was reading that stupid book, which is now the Amazon top seller, right? The Philadelphia Eagles have taken the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands. There is no way he can basically cost them the game. What's going to cost them the game is a Saquon Barkley fumble, is the defense not showing up. I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to be their downfall. Their only downfall, what I'm worried about, is Dean, right? Their linebacker. I believe he tore his ACL. That might be their downfall, is losing him. And John says, no, they're not Super Bowl favorites. Hurts is not 100%. I don't think it matters. I don't think it matters. And Laura says, Buck, the Vikings are going to come out on top. Laura, for all I know, right there, my TV says the score says 0-0 still. So I don't even know that they're losing. Michael Burlew says, I could give them the best odds since they can run and defense, but not a huge advantage over the remaining teams. And Michael, I think you are correct. Because one of my drawbacks for the Commanders and Lions game is that Jaden Daniels was 85% of their offense last night. They cannot run the ball, meaning the Washington Commanders at all last night. I don't know what it was. Like they did not run the ball at all. Right? At all. With that being said, the Commanders were the third-ranked rushing team in the NFL all season long. If they're able to balance attack the Detroit Lions, they have a shot. The Philadelphia Eagles, they are definitely a very, very run-heavy team. Second in the NFL in rushing yards per game, 179.3 yards per game, behind the Baltimore Ravens at 181 yards per game. They are 29th in the NFL in passing yards per game with 189. Nice little balanced attack, right? But if you can run the ball like the Philadelphia Eagles do, and they play defense, and they stop the Lions once or twice, that makes the Lions start playing from behind. That makes the Lions, usually when you're getting 12 possessions in a game, you're down to 9 because you run the ball so freaking much. I got to give the advantage to the Eagles. And Casey says Hurts is not that guy. And Casey, I was with you on Jalen Hurts earlier this season. I said Jalen Hurts isn't the guy. I said Jalen Hurts is not a top 10 quarterback. I said Jalen Hurts is just a subpar quarterback being carried. But then I watched back and watched the tape. Looked at the stats. Stats say he gets better each and every season. This year, he's obviously taking a lot steps back. Brand new offense, whatever, right? Taking many steps back this particular season, stat-wise. But if you really sit down and watch the tape, evaluate the tape the last 3-4 seasons, Jalen Hurts can be that guy. Jalen Hurts is like a chameleon. He can adapt to whatever the Philadelphia Eagles need. You need me to pass the ball 40 times a game. I can do that. You need me to hand the ball off 40 times in it like in a game. I can do that. Jalen Hurts is that guy. Scooby UT says the Vikings were with me pretenders. Oh, Scooby, I'm not going to be on tomorrow. Hoffy and Mark will be here. But come Wednesday, you bet your bottom dollar, if the Rams do win, I got receipts. And he says the game is 24-3, Rams winning. No, Scooby, we do not post a score here. I got the game on pause for a reason. I'm going to watch it after the show. Josh says the Vikings. You guys are telling me the score. I'm going to kick you. I'm going to kick you. I'm going to kick you. Alpha Rob says it's going to be a point where Hurts is going to have to make a big throw on third down, or his defense is going to have an off game. You are correct. You are correct. Stacey says Mark is going to show his face after the Broncos game. Be nice to Mark, guys. Be nice to Mark. He was having a bad day. Be nice to him. Be nice to him. And Laura says, Buck, please leave the Vikings alone. Laura, I would leave your Vikings alone, but if you go to Facebook.com, guys, or YouTube.com and look up any of my clips saying that the Minnesota Vikings were pretenders, they're going to be one and done in the playoffs. I was told to kill myself. I was told to suck my own dick. I was told to you are a clown. You don't know ball. I was told all these things, Laura. I have thousands upon thousands of screenshots and receipts. Laura, you're not going to get it because I like you. I like you. You are a Pick 10 pundit. So when we troll the Minnesota Vikings and call them out about how much other bullshit that they are, about how much of pretenders that they are, how big a fugazi team that they are that I've been saying all season long, I'm going to say, Laura, see you in 15 minutes. I'm going to say, hey, Laura, I'm going to dog your team for the next 15 minutes. Laura, go be a Seattle Seahawks fan for the next 15 minutes because I'm going to make the Minnesota Vikings guys cry on Wednesday if they lose this game. They are going to cry. Buck is going to troll the Vikings so hard. Shh. And Laura says, not by me. So rise about the haters. I will. Speaking of haters, Jordan Love. Many people do not like Jordan Love. Many people said Jordan Love was overpaid. Many people said Jordan Love was overhyped. A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this and that. And Jordan Love, guys, signed a 4-year, $220 million contract earlier this season. Many people, most people, I say about 90% of the people said he was overpaid. He was overpaid. He hasn't done nothing to me yet. He should have franchise tagged. You should have done this. You should have done that. However, he did win a playoff game last season over the Dallas Cowboys. Still, the only 2 seed to lose to a 7 seed in the NFL playoffs. Jordan Love did get beat by the 2 seed, the Philadelphia Eagles, last night. He is now 1-1 in the playoffs. In just 2 playoff trips as a starter, he is only 2 games behind Jordan Love in the win category. I just want to put that out there. No hate, I'm just saying. But the question is, guys, will the Green Bay Packers ever win a Super Bowl with Jordan Love and Matt LaFleur? First things first is I like Matt LaFleur as a coach. He came into a tough situation when the Green Bay Packers, or Aaron Rodgers, I should say, fire Mike McCarthy, insert Matt LaFleur. He kind of had to put on kitty gloves around Aaron Rodgers most of the time that he was there, right? It is what it is. 2 years later, see you later, Aaron Rodgers, insert Jordan Love as starter. Guys, so far this season, Jordan Love was 0-6 versus, quote, good teams. When I say good teams, I mean the Detroit Lions, the Minnesota Vikings, and the Philadelphia Eagles. Played all those teams twice this season. He had 8 touchdowns to 8 interceptions with the 58.6 completion percentage. Not very good. However, his first year as a starter, he did throw for 4,159 yards, 32 tutties, and 11 interceptions. But if you go back to his first year as a starter last year, the first 8 or 9 games, he was not very good. He came on late, second half, balled out, got the Packers to the playoffs, won a playoff game. Not too shabby, right? That particular season, he threw for 3,389 yards, 25 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. So in 2 years as a starter, including his rookie start, COVID year versus Kansas City Chiefs, he is 18-15. He did lose that COVID start to the Kansas City Chiefs at Arrowhead, in which he threw 62 times in that game. Why? I don't know. But many people right here said he was paid too early. He was overpaid. He's never going to win a Super Bowl. But guys, when you think about this, when Jordan Love got paid, yes, he was the highest paid quarterback at that particular time for about a week. But actually, it may not even been a week. 4 years, $220 million equals about $55 million a season. I think it's pretty back-end loaded. He'll probably rework it, whatever, yada, yada, yada. But then Trevor Lawrence got paid. Joe Burrow got paid, making $60 million a season. Bada bing, bada boom. Dak Prescott got paid, making $60 million as a season. So did he really get overpaid? Yeah, like it is what it is. But the question is, will the Green Bay Packers ever win a Super Bowl with Jordan Love? And I think they will. I think Jordan Love does have very, very good talent. He is a little arrogant with his arm strength, right? He has more. He thinks his arm is better than what it actually is, so therefore he makes a lot of errant throws and doesn't take checkdowns and just reads the field bad. But yeah, you also have to realize that the Green Bay Packers are the youngest team in the NFL, the second year in a row. And barring something crazy, they'll be the youngest team for the third year in the NFL next season. Guys, the Green Bay Packers have a lot of room to grow. They have a Super Bowl caliber team. And I think Jordan Love, giving him some time, giving him some receivers that can catch the ball, they will make it to the Super Bowl. I think in 3 or 4 years, we are going to see the Green Bay Packers back in the Super Bowl. Will they win it? That is to be determined. AFC is so loaded. Buffalo Bills, Ravens, Chiefs, Bengals. AFC is loaded. But he can get there, and I feel that they will win a Super Bowl. So do you guys think the Green Bay Packers, currently constructed with Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love, will they win a Super Bowl in the next, I don't know, let's say five years? I'm saying yes. Casey says he was paid way too early. So, Casey, let's say they waited to pay Jordan Love. Let's say they franchise tagged him last season. That would have paid him $45 million, I do believe. $45 million to be franchise tagged. And then he has another 4,000-yard passing season. We saw Trevor Lawrence get $60 million. We got Joe Burrow get $60 million. We saw Dak Prescott get $60 million. After that franchise tag, next year's franchise tag is going to be about $52 million. You can franchise a player twice. So now, instead of paying him $55 million for the next 4 or 5 years, now you got to pay him $62 million, $63 million, $64 million, hell, maybe even $65 million. Green Bay Packers are going to have a lot of salary cap, or a lot of players that are going to get paid over the next 3 years. They did not did not pay Jordan Love too early. They've actually probably saved themselves $15, $16 million a season by paying him, quote, too early. But he also says, no, they will not win a Super Bowl. No way, no how are they going to win a Super Bowl. Laura says no, 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 and no again to all the above. No, Pack, no, she says. Damn, slow it down, baby. Casey says Green Bay will make the playoffs and be the new Dallas Cowboys. That would be tough. That would be tough. Scooby UT says Vikings, Broncos are, and sadly the Packers are all one and done or pretenders. What are you talking about, Scooby? What are you talking about? Casey says Trevor Lawrence is overpaid. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. I got some shit in my eye. Sorry about that, guys. Trevor Lawrence has won a playoff game that he got paid. Of course, he's lost like 18 of his last 21 starts, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Michael says it's hard to say yes as they need more offensive weapons. He can be as competitive as a starter, make the playoffs, cannot say that they're all the way right now. And Michael, I think you are correct. Right? Josh Jacobs was really their only lone offensive threat this season. Christian Watts dropped the ball. Dobbs dropped the ball. Watson would drop the ball. Right? They would make these crazy awesome catches, and then the ball would hit them in the numbers, and they would drop it the very next play. Like what? But yeah, you are thought. Josh says you have to be retarded because you and some other guy picked the Steelers to beat the Ravens last week. Josh, I did not pick the Steelers to beat the Ravens last week. So, nice try. And Laura says, no, Pack, no. Alpha Rob says, Packers need some players on defense. Packers had one of the top defenses in the NFL, Alpha Rob. Now, Jair Alexander did miss the last 2, 3, 4 weeks or so with that knee injury. I don't know what the knee injury was. It was not season ending, but he missed a lot of games. But Xavier McKinney was a huge pickup. I think the secondary is fine. I think the linebacking core is fine. They just need some front 3, front 4 help with a good edge rusher, right? Add some more depth on that front 4. Bada bing, bada boom, you are good. So yeah, they're pretenders. That's what I figured, Scooby. That's what I figured. Alrighty. Let's move it on, boys. Let's do it on. It's time for a little bit of buy and a little bit of sell. So, guys, every Monday here across the landscape, we do a little thing called buy or sell. I see what the people are saying across the old interwebs, and I'm going to say, am I buying what they're saying? I like it. Give me some more, or I'm selling it. Get away from me. I don't like that no more. Sell, clear sell, like all the terrible towels at Walmart right now for the Pittsburgh Steelers on the clearance rack. So, guys, a little bit of buy and a little bit of sell. Let's jump into it in the chat. Laura says sell it all. Laura is very, very salty right now, guys. Laura is very, very salty. So we'll give Laura a hug here in a minute. But guys, buy or sell. Buy means you like what it's saying. You want to buy it. You want it. Yes, I agree with it. Or sell is like, no, get it out of here. So guys, buy or sell. Play along in the comments below. And let's play a little bit of buy and a little bit of sell. And let's start with the Houston Texans. Right? Let's start with the Houston Texans. Guys, the Houston Texans, guys, I would say they shocked most of the world last night or over the weekend on Saturday. And the Houston Texans probably one of the biggest surprises to me over the Wildcard Weekend. They did pull the upset over the LA Chargers 32-12. So guys, buy or sell. Are the Texans a real threat to the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs? Can the Houston Texans give the Kansas City Chiefs a run for the money? Buy or sell? And guys, the Houston Texans may have been the biggest shock to me over the weekend. Everybody was saying the Chargers have a bye week. The Texans are not very good. It's an easy game, bada bing, bada boom. We saw what happened. The Houston Texans guys did play a great second half. Much like when they played a great first half versus the Detroit Lions when they looked like a Super Bowl team for a half. But they have not played a complete game all season long. It's been 2 quarters there. It's been 3 quarters there. It's been 2 quarters there. They have yet to play a complete game. Now, their defense has been pretty good most of the season, if not all of the season. Let's just be honest. They have the 6th ranked overall defense. They're 6th in passing, but they're 27th in red zone defense. So when teams get into the red zone, they're scoring touchdowns at an alarming rate. However, they are 6th on third down defense. The offense, on the other hand, has had issues since Stephon Diggs went down back in week 5 or week 6. They have the 22nd ranked offense overall, with the 19th ranked scoring offense averaging just 19 points per game. When we look at the Kansas City Chiefs, guys, they have been dominant. They've been the most dominant team in the NFL all season long. Yes, I understand they're not blowing out teams, but they find ways to win each and every game. They take your best threat and they take you out of their game. If you want to run the ball, they're going to stop the run and force you to pass. If you're a passing team, they're going to take away the pass and force you to run the ball. They know how to win. And then we all know that playoff Kansas City Chiefs, as of late, is a different team. Let's just be honest. This is regular season Kansas City Chiefs and playoff Kansas City Chiefs. For whatever reason, they turn on that switch. Yes, 25 days off. They're going to come out rusty, but it is what it is. But the Houston Texans did play the Kansas City Chiefs back on Christmas Day, which I think gives them the advantage. Why does it give you the advantage? Because at the time, the Kansas City Chiefs were playing for something. The Kansas City Chiefs were playing for the number 1 overall seed. The Kansas City Chiefs were playing for that bye game. And it was a primetime game with something on the line. Playoff atmosphere. That Arrowhead crowd was wet, wild, and crazy. That gives you an advantage. You've been there. You've done that. Guys, I am buying that the Houston Texans are a real threat to the Kansas City Chiefs in this divisional round. I am buying that the Kansas City Chiefs may come out and struggle a little bit versus the Houston Texans in the first half. But, like I said, the Houston Texans do not put complete games together. They play great in the first half, or they play great in the second half, not 2 quarters. I am buying that the Texans are a real threat to the Kansas City Chiefs. I am buying that this game is not going to be a blowout. I am buying that this is going to be a close scoreboard watching type of game. So guys, buy or sell. Are the Texans a real threat to the Kansas City Chiefs in the playoffs? Can they legitimately beat them? And me as a Kansas City Chiefs fan, I am buying it. I am legit scared of the Houston Texans just a little bit. You get that one win, you get a little bit of momentum. Momentum's everything in the playoffs. It's all getting hot about the right time. I don't care if you sneak into the playoffs. I don't care if you haven't won since Christmas Day. It doesn't matter. Buy it. And Laura says, sell it all. She says, put that shit on the clearance rack, mark it off for 90% off. The Kansas City Chiefs are whooping the Houston Texans' ass, baby. Damn, Laura. Damn, slow it down. Alpha Rob says sell. Alpha Rob says, you know what? I don't want the Houston Texans to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't want the Houston Texans to even think about competing with the Kansas City Chiefs because I want the Kansas City Chiefs 100% fresh, cocky, and arrogant when the Buffalo Bills come down to town and whoop that ass. That's what Alpha Rob just said. He didn't type it, but I heard it. I heard him say it. Laura says, I can only hope for a bye, but that's a big sell. It's Kansas City all day long, baby. Let's go, baby. Let's go. KC says, so far, the only game I was wrong about was the Texans game. I think the Texans are not ready to go against an almost fully healthy Kansas City Chiefs team. Casey, as we'll dive deeper into this game throughout the week, right? But it would not shock me one bit if the Houston Texans jump out early like your Denver Broncos did, or sorry, like the Denver Broncos did against your Buffalo Bills. Sorry, I'm talking about Alpha Rob. It would not shock me one bit if the Houston Texans get the ball first, say, I want the ball, and I'm going to score, and they go down there and they score 7 points, and the internet's going crazy. Better watch out, Kansas City Chiefs. Better watch out. And then they come back and whoop that ass, like the Buffalo Bills did in the second half to the Denver Broncos. If I could carbon copy a game, I think that's the way it would be versus the Houston Texans versus Kansas City Chiefs. But I am buying that it is a threat, right? I am buying. Michael Burlew says it is a sell. Great work against LA, but they limped into the playoffs, and now they're going outside in the cold to a team that wants to three-peat. Michael, you are correct. Everybody's doubting the Kansas City Chiefs, right? Everybody's hating the Kansas City Chiefs. Everybody's defying, like, hell, even Mark D's like, oh, they're a first-round exit, right? Or they're a first-game exit. Everybody's counting the Kansas City Chiefs out, right? And I'm not counting them out, but I'm just kind of being realistic here that the Texans did play a good second half, if not a great second half. They've had spurts where they look like a Super Bowl caliber team. They just haven't done it all game long. I do think in the first half they're going to shock him, right? They're going to shock him like, oh, shit, slow it down. And Alpha Rob says, that's exactly what I say. See, Alpha Rob, we're on the same lane week, baby. We're on the same lane week. Alpha Rob also says, Chris Jones will dominate the game. Listen, I like Chris Jones 50% of the game. But Alpha Rob, Kansas City Chiefs fan, NFL fans in general, Chris Jones is lazy. Chris Jones is lazy. Watch him on first and say, second down. If it is a run to the left and he is on the right side, he is not going to go get that ball. If the quarterback is dropping back on second down, he's not going to go get a sack. If there is a reverse play and he is not right there in position on first, second down, he's not going to go get that reverse play. Third down, he's dominant. He's able to pin the ears back and he gets the ball, whatever. Fourth down the same way. But first and second down, he is a lazy POS. Is he saving his energy for third down? I don't know. Whatever, right? I was never the type of person to take a playoff at all. Never. You saw me 110% every play. I could be on the right hash and the ball could be out of bounds on the left side of the field. I am sprinting dead ass headhunting a motherfucker. Chris Jones like, yeah, I'm done. Obviously he's a better athlete than like me. Obviously he is a hell of a lot better than I ever was, right? He is in the freaking NFL. He is one of the best defensive linemen of all time. But I'm telling you, he is lazy. He is lazy. Guys, legit, get out there and watch the game. He is lazy. He is lazy. He's not lazy on third downs. You are correct, Alpha Rob. But first and second downs, watch him. Casey says Chris Jones gets flashbacks to the combine when he had to do the 40-yard dash. He's not lazy. He just had PTSD. If you guys know, you know. But when Chris Jones was in Indianapolis in the combine, running his 40-yard dash, he tripped. He tripped not because he stumbled. He tripped because his big old wanker fell out and tripped him. That man's got a 4-foot dick. Michael Burlew says, I can see a slow start early with the Kansas City Chiefs starters not playing for 3 weeks, but the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have it by the end of the game. I agree. And Laura says, we got a game now. Laura, it's still 0-0. So, yeah, we definitely got a game. Definitely got a game. Speaking of games, Denver Broncos. Guys, I feel like the Denver Broncos have overachieved this season. Mark D had them at 8 wins. I had them about six wins, and they finished 10-7. I definitely feel like they overachieved this season. They did finish the regular season, guys, at 10-7 with the 7th seed in the AFC playoffs. But buy or sell? Will the Denver Broncos push the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West title next season? Are we thinking that the Denver Broncos are going to win or compete for the AFC West title in 2025 NFL season? Guys, Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos got better each and every game this season. From week 5 on, from the New York Jets game when it was 10-9, they got better each and every week. Bo Nix definitely balled out. Sean Payton coached his ass off. That defense played lights out. They did play a bad game in the playoffs versus a really, really good team in the Denver Broncos. In the Buffalo Bills. Let's just be honest. But the Broncos did finish in third place in the division this season. In the NFC West, they were a third-place team behind the Chargers and by the Kansas City Chiefs, which therefore means they get a third-place schedule next season yet again in 2025. So they get a nice little easy schedule next season, right? Easier schedule. The Denver Broncos were 2-5 versus playoff teams this season, counting a gimme game versus the Kansas City Chiefs back in Week 18. And beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers fresh off the blue flu. They do have 16 notable free agents in 2025, a lot of them on the defensive side of the ball. So, guys, buy or sell? Will the Denver Broncos push the Kansas City Chiefs for the AFC West title next season? And I was going to buy this. I was going to buy this because I like Bo Nix. I like what Sean Payton's doing. I like what the defense was doing. I like the fact that they had a 34-point-plus game the last 3 weeks of the season, the regular season. But when I looked at that third-place schedule, next year, the AFC West plays the NFC East and the NFC South. But with that third-place schedule, they will also be playing the Green Bay Packers. They will be playing the Cincinnati Bengals and the New York Football Jets. So that easy schedule, really not so easy. The Bengals are going to be better. Whether you want to admit it or not, the Bengals are going to be competing for the AFC North next season. Green Bay Packers, youngest team in the NFL. They're pissed off. They have something to prove it all next season. New York Jets, yeah, it is what it is. But to say that the Broncos are ready to compete for the Chiefs for that AFC West title, I got to sell it. I got to sell it because I have faith in the Chargers. I have faith in the Chargers that they're going to be a little bit better next season. Also believe in sophomore slumps. We've seen it with C.J. Stroud this season. I am selling that they're not going to be competing for the AFC West title next season, but the year after that, it's a different story. But guys, buy or sell? Will the Denver Broncos compete for the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West title next season? Casey says the Broncos went Week 18 win with their heads. Sorry, let me say that again. Casey says the Broncos Week 18 win went to their heads. They overachieved. They have a future with Bo, but he can't beat the second and third stringers. You've already won the Super Bowl. Not wrong. Alpha Rob says buy. I'm sure they will add a run game and a receiver. If they do that, Alpha Rob, it has to be through the draft. They are in cap hell. What is it? $60 million dead cap hit for Russell Wilson next season. There's a reason why they got rid of Jerry Jeudy, because they couldn't afford him. Let's just call it what it is. They would have to get a receiver and a running game through the draft, and I'm not for sure they will. Not for sure they will. Laura says, poor Broncos. They tried so hard to finish good this season. There's always next season. They tried. They tried, just like the Minnesota Vikings. They tried. 13 seconds. There we go. My man, 13 seconds says they failed to get to the playoffs in the last 3 games. Then they had to play backup. Slow down on Bo, Sam Darnold. Can we say, can we put a pin in this conversation? I'll be curious to see what Bo does next year. And Laura says, buy. I'm buying it. I can see it happening. She says, I could see the Denver Broncos competing for the Kansas City Chiefs next season. Kansas City Chiefs are in complete rebuild mode, as some people say. I don't know where they're coming up with like that crap, but okay. Okay. Scooby UT says the Falcons is a great franchise, but they're always not playing well. Okay. Michael Burlew says, think all 3 of the AFC West teams are going to go smack each other around. Can see them getting in a race, but see the Chargers getting the division, if not the Chiefs. Let's not forget about the Raiders. Let's not forget about the Raiders. I'm kidding. 13 seconds says, I love you. Andy Reid loves you too. Also says, I need a massage. If you guys don't know what 13 seconds is, the Buffalo Bills lost to the Kansas City Chiefs in 13 seconds in 2022. Laura says it seems like everybody's in rebuild mode. People just try to make up that stuff. Just try to make it up. They try to make it up. Oh, what's going on here? That's not factor crap. Anyway, guys, it's time for factor crap. It is time for a little bit of fact mixed in with a little bit of crap. I've been scouring the old interwebs and seeing what the people are talking about, and we're going to turn it into a little bit of fact or a little bit of crap. And one of the most factor crap things out there is my man, Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, the man, the myth, the legend himself. Many people are saying he is overrated. Overrated, Mr. Justin Herbert is. Guys, Justin Herbert dropped yet another playoff game while holding a lead in which he is now 0-2 in the postseason. Justin Herbert has lost a 28-point lead and a 6-point lead in the playoffs, which should have been 14, but it wasn't. But they lost to the Jaguars in Texas. He's 0-2 versus the playoffs. Justin Herbert signed a 5-year, $262 million year contract to start the 2024 NFL season. So, guys, fact or crap? Is Justin Herbert overrated? This one's tough. Is because Justin Herbert has had that stigma on him his whole career. His rookie season, what was like 2 hours before the first game, Tyrod Taylor was the starting quarterback at that particular time. He was getting some type of pain shot in his chest. I don't know if he had broken ribs or like what, but the doctor punctured his lung with the needle. Justin Herbert got the call. Hey, you're starting. He's like, oh, what do I do? Whatever. He balled out. His whole rookie season, he finished with 4,336 yards, 31 touchdowns to 10 interceptions. They did finish the season 6-9. Not too bad for being just thrown into the fire, right? Not too bad for just being the guy that's holding face. He was deemed Patrick Mahomes 2.0 that particular season. 2021, come out, 5,000 yards. Who was named to the Pro Bowl. Finished the season 9-8. Not too shabby, right? Sophomore season, 2022. Much of the same, 4,739 yards, 10-7. Made it to the playoffs. Lost to the Jaguars after leading 28-0. But hey, they made the playoffs. Last season, 2023 and NFL season. Huge step back. 5-8. He was injured most of the season with this ankle injury, right? Did throw for 3,134 yards. This season, just under 4,000 yards. Was 11-6. Made it to the playoffs yet again. Lost to the playoffs, but made it. 3,870 yards passing this season. 23 touchdowns to just 3 interceptions. Guys, Justin Herbert has been surrounded by bad coaching his whole career. Brandon Staley was not a very good coach. He was terrible. terrible at clock management, terrible at play calling. Hell, he had Kellen Moore as the offensive coordinator. Mr. Save It All, Kellen Moore. Terrible, right? Terrible. But this year, he finally gets an opportunity with a good coach. He has a good running game, has some receivers that can't catch the ball. Defense is pretty good. Guys, the issue with Justin Herbert is he is a game-managing quarterback. He is a game-managing quarterback. His first 4 years in this NFL, he was supposed to be Patrick Mahomes 2.0. I don't know who put that stigma on him, put that curse on him, but he was consistently trying to live up to the hype. He was trying to be this gunslinger. He was trying to be scramble in the pocket. He was trying to throw 5,000 yards every season, right? This doesn't happen. Game managing quarterback is not a bad term. Tom Brady was a game manager. Patrick Mahomes is a game manager. It's not a bad term. It means you rely on your divas to win you games. You are there not to lose the game. I'm not saying Justin Herbert is overrated. He puts up good numbers. He wins when he's in there. 11-6, 10-7, 9-8. He has 3 winning seasons in his 5 years. If you want to call Justin Herbert overrated, you probably have to call 25 other quarterbacks in the NFL overrated as well. Justin Herbert is a top 12 quarterback in the NFL. He is not overrated. He has underachieved by not winning a playoff game, not winning a division, not winning a Super Bowl. But to say he's overrated, no, that is complete crap. So guys, fact or crap? Is Justin Herbert overrated? I'm saying crap. What are you guys saying? Casey says, I'm giving Herbert one more season before calling him Phillip Rivers 2.0. Putting up great numbers in the regular season, winning 13 games, right? Making it to the playoffs, but never winning a playoff game. Casey, that is valid. That is valid. I will give you that. Michael Burlew says, I mean, he's not overrated or underrated. He's just rated. Quality to lead a team shows nothing to defeat an elite quarterback or defense. So kind of like Dak Prescott, right? Puts up great numbers, wins teams you are supposed to beat, wins games you are supposed to win. But if you are asked to win a game, if you're asked to go out there and beat the Kansas City Chiefs, asked to go out there and beat the Houston Texans, you're not going to do it because he's a game manager, right? I think that's the definition of a game manager. Alpha Rob says, in his first couple of seasons, it was injuries, bad coaching with the seasons, and no offense. And Alpha Rob, when you look at the rosters, you're like, damn, these are Super Bowl caliber rosters. Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, you had Austin Eckler, you had Joey Bosa, you had Mac, you had talent across the board. Coaching was terrible. I will give you that. Coaching was horrible. But you can't blame injuries. Everybody gets injuries. And Alpha Rob says same thing that Michael just said. He's not overrated or elite. He's just rated, right? He's just rated. And Laura says crap. Crap, says Laura. Says it's just crap. Much like the Viking season. It's just crap. And she says she's salty. Salty. All right, guys, that is going to be it for today. We're hitting the block. We're hitting the roadblock. Thank you guys for joining us today. Monday through Friday, 9 p.m. East Coast time. We will be here tomorrow. When I mean Mark and Hoffy. I'm going to the Kentucky basketball game with the boys, meaning my boys, River and Trip and the wifey. We're going to the Kentucky basketball game. First basketball game for the family. We're going to enjoy it. Mark and Hoffy will be here live, raw, uncut, 9 p.m. East Coast time. I'll be back Wednesday, getting ready to talk about those that head-to-head hit that I just saw. Good Lord, Sam Darnold just took a head-to-head shot. Michael Burlew says, great show. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Guys, become a Big Sim Pundit. Click on the membership. Click on the subscribe button below. Get yourself some Pigskin merch. We got the shirts. We got the beanies. We're bringing the beanies back just for Laura and John and Casey. We got the beanies for you guys. Until then, guys, see you tomorrow, 9 p.m. East Coast time. Until then, we out.